Hi class, this is Ma'am Likes and I'll be your teacher in English. So before we start our lesson, I have provided a picture and a statement. What I want you to do is to complete the statement by choosing the correct answer inside the parentheses. Okay, so here we have the students are in, on, at the bus. Which one is correct? Okay, very good. So the correct answer is on. Okay, so maybe you are confused why on is the correct answer wherein the students are inside the bus. So later we will discuss why on is the correct answer instead of in. So for today's lesson, we will be talking about prepositions and its types. So before we start, let us first know the objectives of our lesson. At the end of the lesson, the students are able to enumerate the types of prepositions, differentiate the use of prepositions in the sentence, and give the three main prepositions that are commonly used in the sentence. Okay, now what do we mean when we say preposition? Okay, basically a preposition is a word or set of words that indicates location. They act to connect the people, objects, time, and locations of a sentence. Meaning when we say preposition, it used to indicate location of an object. It also talks about the time in the sentence or places in the sentence. So we have three commonly used prepositions in the sentence. These are preposition in, preposition on, and preposition at. Okay, again, how many commonly used prepositions in the sentence? Very good. We have three. These are preposition in, on, and at. Okay, so we also have the three types of prepositions. These are preposition of transportation in, on, at, preposition of time in, on, at, and preposition of place in, on, at. Okay, so as you can see, we have here the same prepositions, okay, for the types of preposition, transportation, time, or place. We have in, on, at. However, they do have a different usage in the sentence. So let us first talk about the use of preposition in, on, at in the sentence. So let us start with the use of preposition of transportation in the sentence. It is used if the vehicle is too small for the passenger to stand and walk inside. Okay, so what do we mean by this? We use the preposition of transportation in if you cannot walk or you cannot stand inside the vehicle because the vehicle is too small. Okay, so for example, Francis is in the tricycle. Why do we use preposition of transportation in? Can you walk inside the tricycle? Basically, no. Can you stand inside the tricycle? Definitely no. Therefore, the correct preposition of transportation that you will be using is in. Okay? Next example. Melody is in the car. So here, we use the preposition of transportation in because we cannot walk and we cannot stand inside the car. Okay? Again, we use the preposition of transportation in if we cannot walk or we cannot stand inside the vehicle because the vehicle is too small. Okay? Okay, next, we proceed to the next preposition of transportation, which is on. Okay, so what is the preposition of transportation on? It is used when one can stand or walk on a vehicle. Okay, one can stand or walk, okay, on a vehicle. What do we mean by this? Meaning if you can walk or stand inside the vehicle, therefore the correct preposition of transportation that you will be using is on. Okay, so let us go back to the previous example a while ago with the picture. Okay, the students are on the bus. Why we use on instead of in? Because preposition of transportation on are said to use when you can stand or walk on a vehicle. Can you walk inside the bus? Definitely yes. Can you stand inside the bus? Yes. Therefore, the correct preposition of transportation that you will be using is on. Okay? Another example. Grace is on the airplane. Here we use the preposition of transportation on. Why? Because we can stand and walk inside the airplane. Okay? Okay. Then the last type of preposition of transportation is at. Use at for places where you wait for transport. For example, we have bus stop, airport, train station, the O terminal, and etc. Basically, we use the preposition of transportation at for places where we are waiting for the vehicle to come over. Okay? For example, I will see you at the airport. Why we use at? Because we are waiting at the airport. We are at the place where we are waiting for a transport or a vehicle. Now, what kind of vehicle are you waiting at the airport? Definitely, it's an airplane. Okay? Again, we use preposition of transportation for places, okay, where we are waiting for transport. Okay? Okay. Next type of preposition, we have the preposition of time, which are in, on, at. So let us first discuss the preposition of time in. Preposition of time in is used for non-specific time, months, years, and season. What do we mean by non-specific time? Meaning there is no exact time on when a certain event will happen. Okay, and then for preposition of time in, we are using it for months and years, meaning there is no exact date, okay, on when a certain event happens. And we are also using the preposition of time in for seasons. We have 4 seasons, okay? These are winter, summer, autumn, spring, okay? For example, the meeting will start in 30 minutes. Why we use the preposition of time in? Because there is no exact time on when the meeting will start, okay? 30 minutes is not an exact time, okay? Next, I will visit my grandma in December. Why we use the preposition of time in? Because we are just talking about months. There is no complete or exact date on when you will visit your grandma. We do not know because there are a lot of dates in December. We have December 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 31, okay? Next, Hazel's birthday is in 1996. Here we use the preposition in because there is no exact date on when Hazel's birthday. We are just talking about years, okay? When was Hazel's birthday? We do not know. It's just a year. It's not exact or it's not complete. Therefore, the preposition of time that you will be using is in, okay? Next, Jason will visit his friend Francis in summer. Okay, here we use the preposition of time in because we are talking about seasons, which is summer. Okay, again, we are using preposition of time in for non-specific time, meaning there is no exact time on when a certain event happens. We also use preposition of time in for months and years, meaning there is no exact date on when a certain event happens. And we use the preposition of time in for seasons. Okay, next we move on to preposition of time on. Okay, it is used for specific dates and days. Okay, so for the preposition of time on, it is now used for specific dates, meaning there is a complete date or exact date on when a certain event happens. Also, we use the preposition of time on for days. How many days we have in a week? Basically, we have 7 days. These are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to Sunday. Okay, for example, my birthday is on November 19, 1996. So here we use the preposition of time on because there is exact date on when is my birthday. Okay? Another example, I will visit my friend Donna on Friday. Here we use the preposition of time on because we are talking about day, which is Friday. Okay? Okay. Lastly, we have the preposition of time at. It is used for specific time and time of the day. Okay? When we say specific time, there is exact time on when a certain event happens. Okay? And when we say time of the day, these are at sunset, at lunch, at the bedtime, at evening, at the afternoon. Okay? Example, the class will start at 7 o'clock in the morning. Here we use the preposition of time at because there is specific time or exact time on when the class will start. Basically, it's at 7 o'clock. Okay? Next, Joanne loves to read at sunset. Here we use the preposition of time at because we are talking about the time of the day, which is sunset. Okay? Okay. So lastly, we have the preposition of place, in, on, at. So let us first start with the preposition of place. Okay, it is used for cities, countries, and continents. Okay, so preposition of place in is used for cities. Are you familiar with cities? Basically, yes, these are Mabalacat City, Angeles City, Quezon City, Baguio City, and so on and so forth. Okay, how about countries? Are you familiar with countries? Okay, definitely yes. These are London, Paris, and so on and so forth. And then continents, we have 7 continents. These are Asia, Africa, North and South America, Europe, Australia, and Antarctica. Okay, so for example, Melody lives in Mabalacat City. Here we use the preposition of place in because we are talking about city, which is Mabalacat. Okay? Next, Grace lives in Canada. We use the preposition of place in because we are talking about country, which is Canada. Okay? Next, Melody lives in Asia. Here we use the preposition of place in because we are talking about continent, which is Asia. Okay? Okay, so again, we use the preposition of place for place in for cities, countries, and continents. Okay. Okay. Next, we move on to the preposition of place on. Preposition of place on is used for non-specific address, meaning you do not have exact or complete address mentioned in the sentence. Therefore, you will use the preposition of place on. Okay, so here we are just talking about the streets and the roads. For example, Joanne lives on Mango Street. Why we use the preposition of place on? Because there is no exact or complete address on where Joanne lives. Basically, there are a lot of Mango Street, not just here in the Philippines, but in the other country. Okay? Okay, next, the dog lives on the road. Why we use the preposition of place on? Again, because there is no specific address on where a dog lives. Basically, there are a lot of roads in our places. Okay? Okay. Lastly, we have the preposition of place at. It is used for specific address or general vicinity of a common place. Okay, so preposition of place at is used for specific address, meaning you have exact or complete address in the sentence. When we say general vicinity of a common place, these are at the mall, at the church, at the faculty, at the school. These are a general name of places, okay? For example, Juvelyn lives at 2400 Apple Street, Capas, Tarlac. Here we use the preposition of place at because we have complete or exact address, which is 2400 Apple Street, Capas, Tarlac. Okay? Number 2, Spring is at the mall waiting for his friend. So here we use the preposition of place at because we are talking about the general vicinity of a common place, which is the mall. Okay? Okay. Now again, what are the 3 commonly used prepositions in the sentence? Okay, very good. These are prepositions in, on, at. Okay, and for the types of prepositions, we have preposition of place, in, on, at, preposition of time, in, on, at, and preposition of transportation, in, on, at. Now, what is the difference between preposition of transportation in and on in the sentence? Okay, so always remember that preposition of transportation in is used if you cannot move, if you cannot walk, if you cannot stand inside the vehicle. Okay, and for preposition of transportation on, it is used if you can freely move on a vehicle, meaning you can stand and walk inside the vehicle. Okay? Okay, so that would be all. Thank you for listening.